Welcome back to the Friday Night Sports Show. We're starting off our netball reports in the Western Eyre Netball Association. They've kicked off finals over the weekend and Reanna Freeman's on the line to tell me all about it. How are you, Reanna?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's good to be talking netball, and unfortunately for your Hawks, it was a loss in the semi-final on the weekend. We'll start off with that game, and Wirrulla got the win, so they're straight through to the grand final. 50-41 was the final score, but the Hawks will have to go the long way.
Absolutely. So the scene was set 12 o'clock at Thevenard on Saturday for our second semi, a game that Wirrulla and Hawks have played many a times over many years, so it wasn't anything new to either side. I think Wirrulla and Hawks both ready to go. The first quarter was a really good quarter. It was 12-all. I think Hawks got a jump at the start with a couple of goals. Wirrulla settled and then got that back pretty quickly. And then, it was just a really well-fought game. At half-time, Wirrulla were up by 4. Again, it was just a pretty good game the whole way down the court. Emma Willis, in goal shooter, shooting beautifully and shooting from a distance I haven't really seen her shoot before. She's normally only under the post, but on Saturday she pulled it out of the bag and had a couple of longer shots, which is unusual for her, but also good to see, not from a Hawks point of view, but just from a netball point of view, it was good to see her pushing herself. Hayley Webb, goalkeeper for Wirrulla, played a really good game. At three-quarter time, Wirrulla were up by 10, so they had a really good third quarter, increased that lead by another 6. And at that point, the lead was only 10, but I remember sitting there thinking it felt like about 25. The whole momentum of the game really changed. And then in the fourth quarter, their final score, they won by 9, so Hawks actually won that quarter by 1. So proud of the girls that they could come back in that fourth quarter after dropping it in the third quarter. Disappointed with the loss, obviously, but Wirrulla are an absolute quality side. Finals are their bread and butter. They always play really well. Emma Willis was their best at goal shooter. For Hawks, I probably would have given it to Alana Beard. She played goal defence. Stan Sophie Kellett, they had a really good competition, sort of play a similar style of netball. So disappointing with the loss, but huge congratulations to Wirrulla through to the grand final for the third year running. So what an achievement.
Well done to Wirrulla. Good win for them, and they'll get the week off before that grand final. And in our other game, so the Hawks will be taking on Thevenard because they were able to beat the Western United Tigers. Thevi lost their last 2 games of the season, but they ended that slide. And their second last game of the year was a loss to the Western United Tigers, 37-29. But they managed to win this one by 11, 49-38. So you'd think maybe that loss a couple of weeks ago helped them scout out their opponent and figure out what they had to do to get back on top.
Yeah, look, and they also lost Cass, who was one of their main shooters for Thevi. But they did see Nikki Sleep go into goals for Thevi, and I think her and Courtney partnered up beautifully. If we go back to last week, I really didn't know who to tip here and ended up going with Thevi. Not necessarily because I thought, that they're definitely going to win, but just because I knew it was going to be a hard game. And it most certainly was. It was at Penong on Sunday. It was quite hot. Just sitting as a spectator, it was quite hot, let alone running around on the court. It was only 3 goals in it at quarter time, 6 at half time, and then 7 in it at three-quarter time. So a really tight match the whole way through the game. A fabulous game. Nikki Sleep played really well in goal attack, and she came up against Harriet Appleby, and I think just Nikki's experience sort of won that position. Abby Thomas for Westies in goal shooter, she was their best player. She was really strong, really humble all day, worked really hard, and I think sort of hurt herself towards the end of the game. So hopefully Abby is feeling back to her full strength self, even though there's no more games for her for this year. But I think one person that has got to be mentioned from this game is Thevi's wing attack, Tracy Miller. Really was a point of difference in this game. She played brilliantly. She fed the girls beautifully. She moved beautifully. She would have been my best player for the game. I thought she was fabulous. So, Thevi really happy with that 11-goal win. It wasn't easy. It was a hard game, a hard-fought game for the whole hour. So, huge congratulations to Thevi. But shout out to the Westies girls. Durrani's probably going to want to shoot me for saying this, but I did mention at the start of the year that they didn't win a game last year far too many times. But I think it's got to be said to come from a team who didn't win a game all year last year to then come and they more or less took it to every team in this competition, and I think more or less have beaten everyone but maybe Wirrulla. Kudos to them. They had a fantastic season, and I know disappointed they didn't finish it off with a win, but Thevi were just too strong on the day.
They did have a fantastic season. We talked about them as the sleeping giant over the last few weeks, and they had that win over Thevenard in the second last week of the season, and we thought maybe something was brewing, but they couldn't quite get the win this time around. So they're knocked out in the first week of finals, but what that means is the teams that were sitting in the top three all year are the last three teams standing. And to play Wirrulla in the grand final, it's the Hawks and Thevenard tomorrow. So very big game. How do you see this one playing out? And we'll try and keep your Hawks biases to the side. I know you're going to tip the Hawks to win, but this is going to be a cracker.
Look, you're right. I will tip the Hawks to win. We hit the track and we had a really good training. In saying that, I said that last week as well. So I think it comes down to they know what they need to do, but it's about putting it into practice on the court. Thevi are an outstanding team. Courtney Trowbridge is their coach, plays a beautiful game in goals, dictates the whole game from the goal ring, which isn't an easy thing to do, a bit like Emma Willis does. Lindsay in defence with Haley Jericho is a beautiful combination. Amy Fackless running through the centre. She's an energizer bunny. She doesn't stop. So I think going into the game, although Hawks finished just above Thevi on the ladder, I think Thevi will possibly go in favourites. They sort of beat us twice this year. Once in the first round and then second, sort of when both teams were at full strength, they beat us by 9. The last time we played them, Hawks did win, but I think from memory, Thevi had 4 or 5 players out, which is nearly a whole side. So that game aside, did put Thevi in favourites. But all in all, I love the game of netball, and I'm really excited for this game. I think it will just be a brilliant game. There'll be some amazing skills on display, good sportsmanship, and just a pleasant game to watch. So obviously I'm hoping the Hawks win, and I will back the Hawks and tip them, but I think Thevi would be going in favourites to this one. But all in all, wishing everyone good luck. I think it's going to be a very hot day, something like 27 at Wirrulla, and there's certainly no sea breeze at Wirrulla, so any sort of wind will be hot and coming off the land. So make sure everyone hydrates. It should be a fabulous day of sport again in Western Eyre Netball, but I believe it will be a hot one.
All right, clever little reverse jinx from you there, Reanna, tipping Thevi to win this weekend. We'll see if that one works out for you. Before we wrap up, just very quickly, what else is going on around the league this weekend?
So after the netball's finished for the day, we'll actually do our association best and fairest trophies. So they'll be announced at Wirrulla once the netball's finished. So that's, A grade right the way through to all the juniors, junior A, junior B, junior C. So it should be really interesting to sort of see, it's obviously a team sport, but it's also really important to recognise those individuals who have absolutely excelled this year. And we'll also, for the first time, be giving out our A grade team of the year, which I'm really excited about. I'm not going to give away any secrets because I actually know who's made the team. I think it's going to be a great day all in all.
All right, enjoy that. That's going to be a great one. Lots going on in the junior netball and the other grades as well. We'll get a chance to hear about them all next week. But Reanna, good luck to you this weekend and good luck to Thevenard as well. It's going to be a big final. Enjoy, and we'll chat to you next week.
No worries. Thanks very much for having me.